ban on hunting of the George River caribou herd for 5 years. Had to be done. Apparently the Innu would not stop. The other Aboriginal peoples up there, the Métis, I guess the Innu and the Inuit certainly were all for stopping, because the herd has gone from 800,000 20 years ago or so down to 20,000 or less right now. And the Innu say that their rights trump the laws, but we're going to find out. Oh, man, I have so much stuff here. Hoping to talk to Tom Henderson about that. I know Simeon Tshakapesh is supposed to call in as well tonight. We're going to go now to line 2 and speak to Chief Simeon Tshakapesh, who has called in. And I assume, sir, we are talking about the ban on hunting of the George... where's my notes here now? George River caribou herd announced by the government today. Is that right?
Yes.
And what do you think of it?
Well, Pete, I'm a little bit stunned and surprised what the announcement happened so sudden. But my question is, it's why only the Inuit people and Labrador hunters and Innu people have been targeted, and are they blaming the Labrador hunters and the numbers to decline? And one of the things that I've been thinking about is how many years the numbers have been gone down, and what steps and what measures have taken by the Newfoundland government about the about the numbers that are going down with caribou herd.
Well, I think there has been some effort put into trying to discern exactly what it is, what's causing the rapid decline. But we do know that both the Nunatsiavut and Nunatuhivut people have decided not to hunt and have called for a voluntary, a ban on hunting. Why has the Innu Nation not followed in step with that?
I cannot speak for the Innu Nation, but I'm also a board member of Innu Nation, so I guess I'm basically speaking Innu Nation, I guess. But I think Innu Nation is. I support Innu Nation because of the what they don't support about this ban. But I think there should be other factors should be also looked at. I mean, mining companies, exploration companies, and I think the province of Newfoundland and Labrador should ban exploration, mining, especially Voisey's Bay, and also the Lower Churchill. That the project is on the way. They should also halt everything, because it's also the Lab West as well. It's disrupting caribou habitat. It is disrupting. Look at for a few years ago, low-level flying.
Okay, but let's take the current situation. You've got a herd that is down now, they say, below 20,000 animals. Mm-hmm. Something has to be done immediately. It's a critical situation, wouldn't you agree?
And I don't dispute that, Pete. I don't dispute that.
So don't you think the safest thing is to stop right away from any hunting so that we don't lessen the herd anymore?
Well, I think it's best way to stop everything at the same time, Pete. And I think the Innu will stop hunting caribou if the province say to the two groups, Innu people from Sherry and Nawashish, that we're going to ban also mining and exploration in Labrador, so that way caribou is not disturbed. So let's do our jobs as well. I mean, I'm prepared to do my job.
But until they do that, you wouldn't agree with stopping the hunt?
Until they do that, I wouldn't agree, because it's no point banning the caribou in Labrador when there's exploration and mining is taking place and disrupting migration of George River herd. Well, I basically know a camp behind Mustachio Lake. It's a big camp. It's a big big camp, and that's very questionable.
Okay, but I mean, it could very well be that these other factors are having an impact. But if there's one thing we know for sure, that there is absolutely no doubt, is that, killing animals, taking them out of the number is definitely shrinking the herd. So if we can agree to stop that, and then we can, even if we agree that if we stop that, we're going to take an immediate look at these other pressures on the size of the herd. But, I mean, I can't understand how anybody would say, well, we're going to keep hunting regardless of what it does to the herd because you're not willing to do these other things.
Well, I don't think it's not it's not the message we're trying to send here. I think the message we're trying to send here, Pete, is that what caused the numbers to decline. And I know the Newfoundland government has allocated 500 tags 500 tags caribou during this the rate that was going down for caribou herd, and Newfoundland government still give the tags to the sports hunters. So that's, I mean,
right up till this ban, you mean?
They should have done something.
There were tags released right up until this ban, you mean?
Not
this year?
Today. I'm talking about a couple of years ago at least.
All right. Well, that's a couple of years ago. I'm talking about right now, where the other groups.
But we've been talking, Pete. But we've been talking. But the numbers been talking. The caribou the declining numbers. We've been talking. But I think it's what's going to happen if the Innu say, okay, we're not going to hunt. So are we going to get compensation like moratorium they did in the cod moratorium? Are they going to be compensated? Because that's their traditional livelihood.
Well, I tell you what. What about this? What about let's agree to stop so that the herd doesn't completely disappear, and then talk about it. But if you keep hunting while you're talking about it,
that's where the politicians trick all, and that's where the trick happens. Well, we agreed, and then the government said, we're going to talk to them and do this and all that. 5 years later, nothing will happen what they promised, because I know they're not going to do what they promised. I mean, I know the history of Newfoundland government really well, and the federal government as well, dealing with Aboriginal people in Labrador.
But what's the alternative? You hunt them to extinction, and then where are you?
Very, very simple, Pete. Very, very simple alternative. Shut the mines down, shut the projects down, shut everything down in Labrador, like all the exploration stuff and all that stuff. Leave the animals alone and other species, not just the caribou, like porcupine.
So you're saying until that happens, you're not going along with the cessation of hunting.
That's when they're still killing caribou. Like, caribou must be really, really shocked, or when you hear low-level flying of choppers around. I mean, that must have scared caribou. So I say, if they don't do that, I think, and then the Innu people will be fighting so hard, I think, and like I said, we're going to be taking action. And what action? That's down the road. And that's all I can say, because that's got to be
action that involves
got to be considered, right? I mean, we're going to do our part, and I want the Newfoundland government to do their part as well. So if we're going to be banning in the next 5 years, then we need some kind of compensation, training, all that stuff, and our diet is going to change.
Well, it's going to change if they disappear as well.
It is going to change this as well, but look at what they're doing in Labrador. They're exploiting Labrador. There's all kinds of exploration going on in Labrador, and I think that should be stopped. And I think, look at the fish camps, hunting camps. They all got to go, I think, on our territory.
I can guarantee if you're going to wait for all that to pass before you stop hunting caribou, then the caribou are going to be a foregone conclusion. They're going to definitely be gone. And when you had an opportunity, when it was clearly a crisis situation and nothing was done, you can't reverse that, when it gets, and it may be too late now, obviously, we don't know. But from over 800,000 20 years ago to under 20,000 now.
Yeah.
I mean, there comes a time where you say, we are on the brink here of no return, so.
And that's the kind of message I want to send to the Newfoundland government. If they don't do their part, like those explorations, I'm telling you, and mining, shut them down, or the Innu are going to shut them down themselves. And that's what's going to save the caribou. We're not going to shoot caribou. We're going to save them. We're going to shut the mining projects. We're going to shut the exploration camps. We're not just talking about caribou here. We're also talking about the species on the water. There's hunting camps, fishing camps. They should be all stopped as well.
But you're saying that the reason that you would not agree with stopping caribou hunting in the meantime is because these other things...
Yeah, are happening in Labrador, disrupting caribou migration.
Yeah, well, I guess there won't be a migration anymore to be disrupted.
Well, there won't be migration if the Labrador government continues to allow those exploration and mining companies happening in Labrador. You're not going to see nothing. Maybe you're not going to even see partridge or a porcupine.
All right, sir, we're going to leave it there. I thank you for your call tonight, and I'm sure we'll talk again on this subject and others.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. All right. You heard it.